So far, I've played 3 tournaments with 2 losses in the quarterfinal and 1 in the box. Let's see how we can get on today at the Avon Tier 4. This tournament was on the 4th of October, and I have until the end of the year to win my first tournament. So time's getting a little bit tight. Can we do it today? Let's get into the video. Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at my Avon tournament. So this was, I think, my 3rd tournament on my journey to try and win my first title. And this was a really good tournament, kind of entertainment wise, watching it back. Some really good matches in there. So yeah, definitely stay tuned to the end, and we're going to take a look at all of my matches and see how far we can progress in this tournament right here. So a bit of context on this tournament and on the day. I arrived at the hall quite late. I got stuck in some traffic traveling to the venue, and literally turned up, had about 10 seconds to knock up on court, and then got called for my match. So not the ideal start. Like to get there quite early usually and get a good feel for the hall, but literally felt really cold and didn't have any feeling going on for my first match here at the Avon tournament. Also worth mentioning, there's 2 halls at this tournament venue quite weirdly. There's a main hall and there's a kind of older outdoor hall, which is where I'm playing the match here. And the shuttle did fly quite different between the 2 of them. But regardless, had to kind of focus on getting that feeling as early as possible here in the first game. And one thing that I've been guilty of before, and maybe you guys have been guilty of before watching, is underestimating your opponent based on the knock-up, or at least having a perception of their game based on the knock-up. Now, me and my opponent, Shutong here, in the knock-up, he didn't look like a great player, to be honest with you. He was making quite a few mistakes. He didn't look like he had much power at all. And so naively, I kind of thought at that point this would probably be a fairly straightforward match. And in this first game here, as you can see, it was anything but a straightforward match. I was right, he didn't have the most power, but he retrieved everything really well. And in the early stages of this tournament, where I didn't feel like I had a great feel for the shuttle and maybe wasn't moving around the 4 corners as effectively as I could, he was punishing me. He was getting lots of shots back, retrieving really well and not giving me too much. And as you can see, he was able to take the first end 21-15. And that was a shock, right? In the knock-up, I thought this should be a fairly straightforward first round match. And he's come out really, really strong and not giving me anything, made me really work for the points that I was getting. And so, yeah, I really had to focus up after that first game. I still felt mentally in a good place. I felt like I was the better player, but I needed to change something in order to make sure that I was going to win this match. So I've kind of realised I didn't have the best feeling on my shots, maybe wasn't moving 100%. What I realised going into the second game is I need to play the longer rallies. I didn't feel confident playing the winners that I maybe was in training, and therefore I was trying to play much longer rallies and really wait for that short lift or that kill at the front to take the opportunity to try and finish the rally. So as you can see in the second game here, lots more long rallies, and at times I'm really passive, just playing over and over clears to the back, but I felt this was the way to get through the match, and against a better player, they would have punished me for this play style. They would have had the power in the back and the slices maybe to punish this style. But actually in this game, I felt like it was going to really benefit me. And as you can see here, as I'm extending the rallies, getting a bit longer, my opponent is making the occasional mistake as well. I'm even getting away with some short lifts in there as well. So yeah, the second set game plan of longer rallies and being patient, definitely working. And yeah, I was relieved at that. Really happy, and you can hear me shouting through this match. My opponent started shouting quite early in the match, which got in my head a little bit in the first game, and made me a little bit less confident. So yeah, in the second game and third game here, I am shouting, I'm celebrating my points, not only to intimidate my opponent at all, but really just to get me going. Really make sure that I'm fired up and really working for every point and celebrating when I am playing well and playing patiently and it's paying off. So that's kind of the rationale for the shouting. And in this match, does the shouting get a little bit too far at times? Potentially. You know, me and my opponent were maybe shouting a little bit too much, a little bit too aggressively. But yeah, at the end of the day, we both really wanted to win this match, and we were playing really hard, long rallies, and the points that we were winning were worth celebrating. So that's just my thoughts on that. The third game here, it's still not straightforward. As you can see, opponent's still retrieving well. He was quite a bit up, and here I'm just thinking, you know, just try and get it as close at 11 as possible. You know, if I'm not leading at the interval, it's fine, but just try and get it as close as possible. And he goes to hit this one, misses it, and calls it out, which was a bit frustrating. And that might have been in my head a little bit, because you can see here from the score after the interval, he goes 15-10 up after being 11-10 at the interval. So, you know, maybe that was just in my head slightly. I needed to just, you know, move on and forget about it. But 17-11 here, really big deficit at the latter stage of this third game. But I still felt confident. I remember still feeling really confident that, you know, I felt I was the better player. I felt I just needed to make some changes to the game in order to make sure that I was winning more rallies than I was losing. And that was long rallies, waiting for a really good chance to attack and not being impatient. And you can see that in the rallies here. Like we're playing really good long rallies. And bring it back to 14-18 here. Got a big mistake. And as soon as he gets to 19, it's obviously really tight now. 2 points to win it for him. And a lucky one, a really lucky net cord. And here now at 19 all. Just so many punch clears in this game. Something about the conditions, you know, just really encouraged long, clear rallies. And just on the attack, going for the body quite a lot to try and cut out the mistakes as well, which was working. Good backhand to get out of danger here. Good net. Was able to take it in 3:21.19, and like I said, thought and hoped it was going to be a straightforward match in the knock-up, and as you can see from the score, it was anything but. It was really physical, over an hour for that match, definitely. And so I was pretty tired when I was going on against my second round match here against Rico. And straight away, you know, Rico looks like a better player. I think most of you guys watching will agree, like, looks like he's got good footwork, slightly better technique. But somehow maybe just a bit more used to the shuttle and the conditions. Somehow a good lead in the first half of this set. 11-6 up at the interval. And again, I was just trying to play good quality lifts to the backcourt, waiting for the opportunity to attack. You know, the same principles applying here, and just trying to be patient, really. But yeah, just that little bit of quality from Rico here was you know, a definite difference versus the first opponent. He had those little deceptions. I don't know if he's more of a doubles player. He does have good footwork, but I think some of his deceptions and some of his shot technique just made me think maybe he's slightly more of a doubles player. And after a good start, I give Rico the lead back in this game. And he leads 16-15 in the latter stages. But smash is down the line working really well here in this tournament. The slightly slower conditions in this hall meant that my cross smash was just not working at all. Especially the round head cross to the backhand side of my opponent. Just really wasn't working, making me run the long diagonal, and it was so hard to hit a winner. So trying to attack straight where possible was the right plan. Another body attack. Bring it to 20 all. And a slight mistake in the score here, but I think it was 22-20 that the first game finished. Watching these matches back, kind of at my level, has made me realise how bad scoring is, and I think probably it happens to a lot of people, and you don't realise till you watch it back how you make a mistake. Both players make a mistake on the score, and it's only when you watch it back that you realise, you know, sometimes you can get 23 points in a match, and sometimes, yeah, it goes the other way. So definitely a slow start to this second end. Just feeling the physicality and the fatigue from the first game, and I went so far down that I decided to stop putting effort in and conserve the energy for the third set. But I did, rather than just giving up on the game, I did just play a really slow, high lift style. And that way I was still pushing Rico, and also I was trying something a bit different. I was trying a really slow pace and seeing how he reacted. But yeah, kind of gave up on that set to try and conserve the energy for the third here. And I felt a bit of a second wind going into this third game. I felt really down and out in the second, like physically. My fitness just wasn't good enough. You know, I've only played one, yes, it was a tough three-setter, but I've only played one match. And now here in the second, I'm struggling physically, which if you want to win a tournament, you need to win at least 5 matches. So physicality, just one of the things that I'm working on post this tournament to try and not be an issue in the future. Some really good rallies here. I think you can still see here. Yeah. It's quite a few slow rallies with lots of clears. I think the playing conditions were just encouraging that on this day. Slightly slower shuttle. And I was happy with my play around the net in this match, and actually in a couple of my recent matches. Getting up and trying to play the kills where possible, anticipating the loose net shots was working well. And just managed to get over the line here. 12-6 lead in this third game, and feeling confident now. Feeling confident that I should win this match. And I'm not sure if Rico started to maybe feel it in this match as well in the third set. I'm not sure if he had a close one against my first opponent, Shusong, but yeah, he started to look just maybe slightly tired in this third set. And just a flurry of errors at the end here. And I did say to Rico after the match, I did say, you gave that to me in the end. You know, make me keep working for it. Don't give it to me. A lot of the final points here were just easy mistakes from him. And he was a good player. He just needs to keep the pressure on me. But yeah, able to take the third 21-6. He was pretty gassed. He said he was by the end of the match, which we were both feeling. So that brings us to the quarterfinal. Definitely feeling it physically heading into this quarterfinal match. Had 2 pretty tough 3-setters in the box. Definitely not ideal for conserving energy. And I just thought I'm gonna go on, give it 100% in this quarterfinal. Playing back in the main hall, so some slightly different conditions to contend with. But yeah, was feeling confident, albeit slightly tired going into this match. So let's get into the quarterfinal and see if I can take it. Okay, so this is quarterfinal at the Avon tournament. Had a couple quite tricky opponents in the box to get to this quarterfinal, so I was maybe a little bit tired. But yeah, really keen, really up for the match. You can see the start here. Both of us just trying to find the court. This was actually my first match in this hall. My first 2 were in the other hall. And you can see just a few mistakes, few out the back and the sides and into the net. The shuttle did feel like it was flying a little bit different in here compared to the other hall. Felt actually quite slow conditions in this hall. And that cross smash out was one that, yeah, I'd hit a few too many times that day. And that one in particular made me realise I need to start attacking straight a lot more and just, yeah, keep it in, keep the consistency. But my opponent playing a really good game, playing the slower conditions well, some really high lifts and controlled defence. So in this first set, I've started off a little bit wild, made a few mistakes out the back, out the sides, into the net, and just starting to tighten things up a little bit and play a little bit safer, play the longer rallies, and yeah, have the patience, which is obviously something I've been working on during training as well. My opponent was doing a really good job in terms of just soaking up the pressure that I was applying. It felt like he was quite comfortable letting me attack for large parts of this match and just soaking up the pressure and dealing with it. And as you can see on the backhand here, I'm really trying to pin him on the background, trying to get an opportunity to win the point. And yeah, he's just playing really solid, got a really strong, confident backhand to get him out of trouble. His backhand clear was quite often going cross, which I was even starting to anticipate by the end of this game. But I just wasn't able to capitalise on it. Just the attack didn't have that venom in it. And through his defence here, he's just, wearing me down slowly, moving me around with his counter-attacking shots on defence. And, it was rare that I was able to break through with my attack. So I'm working really hard for the points that I am having to win. And therefore, a few errors creep in just out of tiredness and fatigue. And unfortunately, wasn't able to take the first set due to those reasons. But going into the second, I knew a bit better what I needed to do to win this match. I know that I have to play with more patience and more control. And going for the all-out attack at every opportunity wasn't going to work. So really happy to play the longer rallies here. But again, just occasionally needing a few more shots and getting a bit impatient. And more than anything, it was the tiredness at this point. I was playing these long rallies after playing a few really tricky games in the box already. And it was just so hard to keep focus in each of these rallies, each individual point. I felt like I'd play really well for a few points and then lose the focus and lose a few points on the bounce, which was quite frustrating. I was trailing in this second set, things weren't going my way, and I felt out of the match. Then I went on a winning streak of about 6 or 7 points and was right back in it. Felt like I had some good momentum and also a bit of a second wind, but just narrowly fell short in the end there. You can see super frustrated, but ultimately my opponent played the better game.
So that's it for the Avon Tier 4. A 21-17, 21-18 loss in the quarter-final. That's 4 quarter-final defeats so far on my journey to win my first tournament. Can we turn it around next time when I'll be playing the Reading Tier 4? See you guys in the next one.